My name is Mike B, aka Phony. Today's date is 11/11/22. Buy your lottery cards or tickets or whatever. Oh, it's too late, huh? Somebody won like $2 billion. Are they gonna use that money to pay back the Saudis after for Elon Musk? Some weird fucking Elon Musk, bro. Anyways, this is what we call professionalism. Yes, thank you so much. Speaking of, thank you for joining me, chat. Is that 11/11? 11/11. It's 11/11. It's 11/11. Not 11/11. It's 11/11. Oh man, oh, what a week. What a week. What a week. Be sure, again, to remind you guys, I'm chaptering these things out. I've been doing it for a while. I missed a couple, sorry, but just chaptering them out. So if there's a story you don't like, please feel free to hover your mouse over the bottom and you start on this side. Wait, that's the beginning, right? Yeah, you start on this side and you just kind of hover your mouse over like this, and then you're like, oh, that's a story that I'm interested in. I'm gonna click there, and you go, oh, there's one. And then if you just want cute, fun stuff, you go right over here, right about there. Perfect, okay? It'll be a very short episode for you if you just do that, just so you know. Drag up and pull up to slow. That's right, there's slow seek now on like all the short videos as well, which is pretty dope. Chat is our big time pod champion. Yeah. Or just suck it or be your life. That's right, YouTube. Suck it or be your life. So, first up, speaking of sucking it up, was it like 2 years ago or that we had the whole Mick Gordon and Doom Eternal fiasco that happened? Whoo! So, a little refresher. God, can we refresh that? How do we refresh that? So, we talked about it, and I remember we got information from the executive producer Marty, what the fuck? It's Marty something, of Doom Eternal, going on Reddit and basically putting out this whole huge post talking about why the Doom Eternal soundtrack failed, and essentially blamed Marty Stratton, thank you, essentially blamed Mick Gordon for it. So since that very moment, Mick Gordon has been meticulously building a huge chaptered rebuttal to everything that he said, and also a full statement regarding what happened with Doom Eternal, the soundtrack, and why, even to this day, we pretty much do not have, I don't think we have an official, in any capacity, soundtrack. If you go look on YouTube for like Doom Eternal soundtrack, what you'll find is a collection of different mixes that people have done, and a lot of people are jumping in and saying, if you read the comments, right, it's like, this is the one. It's like everyone's like, oh, this is the one, this is the good mix, like we're all gonna go with this one. So it's become a community project basically. Open letter was May 2020. Yeah, so it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years. It does not exist. Crazy. So I just read this entire thing. Okay, so just what is this? Yesterday, was it 2 days ago? 2 days ago. Marty Stratton, oh, the name was right there. Chat, where you at on this? Marty Stratton, id Software studio director, lied about Doom Eternal's OST events in a Reddit post that used disinformation to blame me entirely for its failure. Later, he offered me a six-figure sum to never speak about it. The truth is more important. Yeah, dude have 5,000 EQ plus. He saves everything. Saves everything. Yes. So... Basically, he starts off with points of note. It's written almost like kind of like a hybrid legal speak / somebody who's really going to make sure you pay for what you fucking did, right? Like it goes over and it says like, all right, so here's a couple of bullet points. Here's some keywords that we use in this industry. And here's some things. He's educating the reader before you jump into it. So now you know what an iteration is. It's basically a rewrite of a piece of music, right? The terminology section. Oh yeah, it's so good. Table of contents. And this breaks down so much. I was reading, I got all the way down to like here, and I was like, surely this is the end of it. And I look over and I see my tiny little thing is still all the way up there at the top. Or sorry, it's only halfway through. Amount of detail you put into it, even in the table of contents. Yes. So I have some bullet points here that I want to go over, and I'll try to follow along with some of these, but obviously you don't need to know the whole thing. There's a lot of detail, and I would recommend, if you have an opportunity to go ahead and read it, if you really want to have an understanding of how shitty game companies can be, especially to people who work in like fields like this, voice actors, creative artists, stuff like that. Mick Gordon, remember 9:58-minute read. Wait, does this... So sorry, 58-minute read. It felt like it took about that long to read it. Is that the time? No, it doesn't. Oh my god, it does. Okay. Anyways, sorry. I don't use Medium enough to know about that feature, but that's hilarious. He said link to your Mastodon. Yeah, I don't know how this came. I mean, I was on Twitter when it was happening. So, anyways, took me a good half hour. Good. All right. So everyone's good at reading. So, basically, early on in development, he recognized timing issues and he had a proposal for change. And this was kind of like his introduction to Marty and how he works, right? And essentially, Marty just like shot it down and also like berated him at the same time as if he didn't know what he was talking about and all that. So this is like before they even had like anything really kind of solidified about what he was going to be doing and what he was going to be doing it for. So like this was like almost 2 years in advance. They had almost no levels done. They had some concept artwork and that was pretty much it. And so and some levels, we're a year out. So his initial works that he drummed up in the first like 6 weeks or so. When he finally got to look at like the first level that he was writing them for, they realized that, it's not a fit. So they ended up junking it all, right? So they junked all the work that he did. And then, he went on to make more. Now, the way he gets paid is per minute. And they purchased like 142 minutes or something like that. And in the end, he gave them probably 282 minutes worth of music. But of course, a lot of it was just kind of tossed aside. They're like, no, this isn't good enough. Rewrite it, do this or do whatever. And so they basically had their hands on like tons and tons and tons and tons of content, both that they paid for and that they didn't. So some of the issues that he spotted early on was that they would have these levels that were designed to have these huge sprawling exploration elements, and they had like 30 seconds of audio that was allotted to that one little piece. And he had to actually go through and make, just probably edit it together, kind of these video demonstrations showing how that does not work. How in a Doom game where you have like a 1 hour long level and you're just like walking around having 30 seconds of tons and tons and tons of tons and tons of exploration and basically no ambiance in terms of music or variation, then that becomes a problem. So as a result of that, they just kicked them out of the music meetings altogether. So now, he hasn't even really started writing anything, right? Like that's been sticking, and he's already basically removed from conversation surrounding the actual OST, getting it done. So you just Delta Dead Air. Oh yeah, from them, yeah. Oh man. So he went 8 months without getting his first paycheck from id. And then once he got his first paycheck, he didn't get another paycheck again until 11 months after that. So he basically got paid twice in a year, working with id. And he has tons of communications in here showing how he was trying to reach out and trying to do things right. And I'll be honest, he has very little communication examples of Marty communicating with him and the team. It's outside of a Skype call, I guess, that they had, and timestamps on that. So while he's providing a lot of information, Mick Gordon to Marty, there's not a lot of communicado coming the other direction. So I don't know why he's not showing some of these. He's basically telling us what was said from Marty's perspective, and basically, how it negatively impacted him. So yeah, lots of receipts, but I'll be honest, like not a lot of Marty correspondence, and I don't know why that is. Need a celebrity to read this Audible style? Yeah. So then they had two songs that they used in E3, where they did not E3. They had two songs that they used at like QuakeCon or something like that. They had a kind of a promotional thing that they did at QuakeCon 2019 or something maybe, and they it's right there actually. On June 6th, 2019, Marty announced Doom release on November 22nd. Oh, that's when they did the Eternal Orders. But anyways, they used a couple songs for those demonstrations, and we all watched those demos. It was a Doom Eternal announcement. We definitely watched those, probably right here on this fucking show. And the soundtrack that they included in those promotional campaigns, they ended up later getting back to him and saying, "Yeah, we don't want this music anymore." Right? So, and because they reserved the right to veto certain musics, he has no say, and so he doesn't get paid. And so he argued with them. He's like, "Well, wait, you literally used it during a promotional campaign when you announced the fucking game at this convention." And they were like, "Okay, fine, we'll pay you." It's just one fucking like award-worthy asshole move after another. This entire thing, it's very depressing to read. What is this? It's not crazy that they would try and screw him over when his music was so damn important in Doom 2016. That's what you would think. You would think it's just like give the man some like creative, like, you know, exploration, freedom, something, you know. And he clearly tried. He clearly tried to like make amends and make things work and everything, and he just got fucked at every fucking turn. So yeah, they rejected tons of music. They announced the release date for Doom Eternal, and they still didn't have a soundtrack from him. It says, you know, we remember this. It says Mick Gordon's original Doom Eternal soundtrack was going to be included in the collector's edition, and they didn't even have a contract with him to do it. They just slapped his name on it as if he was going to be like, okay, well, I guess I have to do it now. And you know what? He fucking felt like he did. He felt like he kind of had to do it. But he wasn't going to start it until he got a contract from them. So that made it take even longer to get anything done. So in that time, and this is not even in my notes now, there's so much stuff in that. In that time that he was trying to communicate with them and say, hey, like, we need to get a contract going, start working on the soundtrack, they had already gotten another sound engineer from the project to start splicing together all the bits and pieces that he had provided to id, and to create their own version of a soundtrack. Almost as if they were planning on him basically falling out or them cutting ties with them or whatever, and just producing their own soundtrack anyways. That is so many scummy things, I know. There's so many. So, I mean, he says, here's a quote. He says, I finished the project feeling unhappy, empty, and in a state of anxiety. I crunched for 2 years straight, and thanks to a rigid, brutal music schedule that attempted to finalize the score before the game was ready for it. I did not want the OST to be the catalyst for another botched pre-order story. And he said he was required to hand over all of his source files. So that's how they're able to piece some of these things together or whatever. So trying to use this shit to rip offs, and he's literally trying to shit he's asked to make. Yeah, he ain't getting away from audio, and they're discovering the flaws. Oh man. So he finally hears pieces of the new soundtrack after communicating with Chad Mossholder, who is credited as being a co-producer on these on the Doom Eternal soundtrack, even though there's not a release, and even though he basically did nothing. And this really, really, really pisses off Mick. Here's where he shows the total minutes released. You know, he was tracking the music, and he shows that they have 144 unpaid minutes. They used basically everything that he gave them, even all the stuff that they said they didn't want. You know, they only paid him for part of it and then used all the other stuff that they dug it out of the trash or whatever. So Doom Eternal OST. So he goes through and oh God, that's right. He went over Marty's helmet basically to reach up to Bethesda to get shit going. And oh my God. So here's the contract. They sent him the contract 2 days before the release of the game. So they really were not planning on doing like it. They had no actual like setup to do all this. And I think even though they did the contract, they ended up like not taking his soundtrack or something. Oh my God. So he starts digging into the files, right? And he's noticing that there's just tons of clipping and shit. There's like overlap parts where where Chad Mossholder, the sound designer, would take clips and he'd overlap them in order to make like two different songs, things that he thought would work well together, and he would cross it over just to kind of give it a nice little transition or whatever. The problem is whenever you cross over two audio files, they don't necessarily like fade into each other. Like it's basically stacking like, you know, 5 inches of dirt on top of 5 inches of dirt, you know? So you're going to have a hump right there. And so this is like such a basic concept too. Like this is like such a basic concept that you're going to have clipping issues if you stack sounds, because they literally fucking stack unless you tell them not to by fading them into each other or something. So Mick Gordon goes through and he sees all this stuff and he's just like, fuck. Like it's just basically everywhere. And what you end up hearing is like clicking sounds, popping sounds. I mean, like, look at this. You start hearing like inconsistencies and shit. He actually even went so far. I mean, clearly he was like, you know, he's not happy about Chad having this much control over his work. He actually went through and specifically pointed out, I mean, not just countless examples of there being, you know, audio issues and splicing issues and everything, and then pointing out that, you know, he didn't like that that Chad was part of this program when he had nothing to do with this program. Don't sound good if it ain't red. Oh man. So Ah, fuck. Glaring through negative criticism. OST's problems. Yeah, so the OST releases. The quality mixes were terrible. I'm sorry, the OST doesn't release. Sorry, the OST's like the soundtrack itself basically gets ridiculed because it's not released. He's the one that ends up getting the kind of the shit end of the stick, especially after Marty went and posted that thread on Twitter. And keep in mind, according to Mick Gordon's testimony here, he's saying that they had a conversation here where they talked about, it's like let's try to work together, and come across and make this a something that we could come across, and we're gonna make this we're gonna make the situation better by producing an actual soundtrack for you guys and all this stuff. But instead, he woke up the next day and found the post that Marty put up on Reddit that shows or that lied basically. And said that essentially that this was an issue with Mick having communication issues and slowdowns and all that stuff. And the thread has been reopened now. So, sorry, you're not necessarily supposed to read all this, but the thread has been reopened now. So there's tons of new comments. Oh, God. 2 years ago. Yeah, this is extremely disheartening, but understandable. It's a real shame, but we still love Mick and we love you guys at id Software. So this is like the same sentiment that I think all of us had. It was like, man, you guys just can't get along. Like, this sucks, but I mean, maybe we'll get a soundtrack out of it. Oh God, thanks for explaining everything. Jeez. Man. And all of this basically just made Mick look terrible. Go fuck yourself, Marty. Yeah. So this is now updated because they've reopened it. People are posting in it. They unlocked it. Last I checked this morning, it was locked. No, it's locked. It was just 2 days ago. It's 2 days ago. So it was apparently not locked at this time. Run away from Doom Andrew Holschult. Yeah, jeez. Yeah, here you go. Well, that was a fucking lie. Yeah, Andrew Holschult should definitely try to stay away from that. But I don't know what his financial setup is with them. Maybe they gave him a better deal or something, or maybe in his eyes he's getting a better deal. But anyway, so this article goes out. This blog post goes out from Marty, and this is also part of Mick Gordon's breakdown. He actually has an entire segment dedicated to breaking this down and showing how basically everything in this was false. It's detailed. It's fucking detailed. Yeah, it says Marty justifies crediting Chad as a co-artist in the album, which I disagree with, by saying that it was the fair thing to do. But his reasoning is deeply hypocritical because id Software flat out refused to credit several of my long-term collaborators for their work on Doom Eternal. Their direct contributions were vital to the sound of the score. So, oh man. So he also goes on to say that they offered him some hush money in this whole deal to bury the issue. They wanted to offer him money and to allow Marty to keep the post up indefinitely, because this Reddit post was a huge thorn in Mick's side because it was lies, right? Lies by somebody who had a position of power. And so, of course, there are people who are going to believe that. I mean, even we didn't know. For us, it was just like, wow, it sounds like they have like a really bad misunderstanding going on here. I wish they could work together because it would be the greater good for everybody, but apparently they can't work it out, but he wanted that post down. Like every conversation they had where they're discussing what kind of agreement they could come to. This is after the fact, right? They just wanted to say, no, his post should stay up because if they delete it, then it's going to make Marty look bad. Also, he's hugely disappointed in fellow gamers that threw all these threats at Mick without knowing both sides. We felt like we knew both sides at the time. It's like I remember that Mick had some kind of statement that he made. I can't remember. It's been a couple years now. But at the very least, I mean, a sane person would understand. And even myself, I remember saying something like, I know what it's like to be an artist and to be under pressure to deliver like something creative like that. Like you have to create this and you are under pressure to deliver that product and it has to meet our standards. Like I understand. So for me, it was like, maybe Mick did fold under this pressure because I understand, that's tough. I mean, it's tough to like come up with something that nobody's ever heard of before in like a matter of like, 2 complete songs a month, which is what he was contracted for. Yeah, because it certainly makes him look wonderful. Yeah, I think at the time it was some sort of deadline, pressure, misunderstanding, fuckery. Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, he says another clause for this for this agreement that they wanted to have was I could never discuss Doom Eternal, the OST, or the Reddit post. If ever asked, I had to say no comment. I had a pledge to never badmouth Marty or anyone working under ZeniMax umbrella, and I could never criticize any product developed by a ZeniMax studio. What? So he said, go to hell. Oh, man. So he said basically unbelievable threats like ensued, like tons. And he goes into detail about some of the shit that the people had said, like, I mean, extreme detail. And yeah, he basically said, fuck off. And I think ultimately that was pretty much that. That was that, and he basically took all that information and put it all in this gigantic guide here, so we could exonerate him of pretty much any wrongdoing. You know, whether or not Mick Gordon is like maybe he's like difficult to work with or something or whatever. Because one thing I noticed in the first email here, let me see, am I at the top now? Yeah, in the first email, he shows the part where he says, I should really say that I've just started on blank, the Doom Eternal soundtrack, and it has a really tight schedule. I have a scheduled meeting on Thursday, or I'm hoping we can smooth it out a little because it's currently insane and is already causing issues. So I don't know what he said up here. I don't know what he said right here, and I don't know what he said down here. And I understand what to keep some of that private. Maybe it has nothing to do with any of this, but I don't know if people at Bethesda thought he was like an asshole or something like that, but it doesn't matter. You're contracting him for the work that he's doing. I posted a tweet an hour ago. I didn't see this, no. But you're contracting him for the work that he's doing, you know? And it's like, if his work basically speaks for itself, then you kind of got to let him do his thing, you know? But that's not how they work. Let me see. To those take action against the game, please spare a thought. Oh, yeah, no, I did see this. That was yesterday, an hour ago. Clayton, what the fuck? So he did say, yeah, he did follow up, and he said this yesterday. He said, to all those taking action against the game, please spare a thought for all talented people who worked incredibly hard to make the game you enjoyed. Yes, the game was getting review bumped on Steam. And, you know, he was saying there's other people that worked on this thing. Let's not like get crazy or anything. Also, even on, let me find it real quick, on Chad. I think I pulled up his account already. Chad Moss. Yeah, Chad Mossholder. This is Chad Mossholder. He's the audio director at id Software. And if we go here, we can even see in the comments here where he says, you know, Chad, or here it goes. Chad, I want to say ahead of the mob or other people directing hateful comments to you, you did nothing wrong. Your work you have done in good faith and da-da-da-da-da. And then, yeah, you're such a Chad, bro. Why didn't you call out Marty over his defamation campaign against Mick Gordon? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So I mean, it basically is a super bad look for anybody, but anybody involved in this, but still not something that Mick wants people to do. All my days roll into one at this point. Yeah. Damn, NDA. So, oh, man, just like a fucking blight on the industry, as if we didn't have enough blights, you know? Here, I'll pop this open here while we discuss this. Like, this seriously is like probably one of the more fucked up things that I've heard. I mean, there's a lot of fucked up things that devs do to creators that work with them, which is one of the reasons why with Helena's case with Bayonetta, like we all sided with the artists on that initially because it was one of those things. It's like we side with artists because we know that developers and studios and publishers will abso-fucking-lutely take full advantage over creatives. Like, these are business type people who know that they can get over on folks who are creatives, because creatives are already in an industry where they know they're not going to get paid very well because the business people know that they can take advantage of them. So they're already kind of in a position, not in a position of power when it comes to these kinds of negotiations and everything, because it's like, well, we've never paid these artists these amounts before. Why would we start now, right? This is the industry standard that's been set by the business types, not the creative types, by the business types. Chat taking credits in the music is so scummy. Oh man, so scummy, so scummy. Oh Jesus. So yeah, it's shit. The statement, I highly recommend going through and reading the statement. Like he points out so many things. You can't fuck with this, right? You can't fuck with this. So check this out. It says on Reddit, Marty alleged that my performance was so bad that he was forced to enlist lead audio designer Chad Mossholder at the last minute to save the OST. But the metadata tells the true story. Chad sent me a preliminary version of his edited OST 1 week before my deadline, and metadata within these files show that Chad began working on his version of the OST using Reaper 6 months earlier when he and Marty were actively excluding me from working on it. And here we go. Lots of dates here. So, oh man, it's just one. There's no filler in this write-up that he did. Like, it's one fucked up thing after another, and it was just like they just didn't stop. It was the overconfidence and the fucking assholery of Marty it's just unheard of. But yeah, I mean, tons of receipts, all straight to the point, and a ton of it. Absolutely. He was only paid to produce 12 songs. Yeah, just insane. I love how he points out too that, you know, he points out in the Quake release. Let me see if I can find it here. QuakeCon. Yeah, here we go. He says, yeah, here he goes. Here's the actual video. He links to the video showing the the announcement here, and I remember watching this. And you could hear the music in the actual, in the video. And I mean, I don't know. I haven't really heard like every second of the Doom Eternal soundtrack. I feel like I might have, but I don't recognize some of these tunes that are playing this. I mean, you can't really hear them kind of in the background, but still, he points out like there's a song used here that I wrote, and they don't want to pay me for it. Also, on the last day for the OST deadline, Mick had PC problems, asked for 4 hours extra, which Bethesda is. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Again, this is yet another thing. They were okay. That's right. They were okay with the extension. He had issues with rendering or something like that, which happens. But then Marty wasn't okay, and he didn't like all the songs all of a sudden, wanted way more songs than the 12 agreed upon. You know why? Because he wanted to use those songs, because remember, he has to provide the stems, right? So it's like for Marty, he just thinks that, oh, well, I can just turn this one down, and I got stems anyways. I could just use these whenever I want because we're Bethesda. We could do whatever the fuck we want. So he probably felt like, well, if I deny this, I'll either get a bunch more free music or I just get to keep this stuff and he's off the project and we'll go with this other one over here. It's just shit. I wonder how pissed Bethesda is over this. Not pissed enough. Have they made a statement on this or anything? I mean, we need a fucking apology. Like, seriously. Like, this is one person against Bethesda. Like, come on, man. Like, if anything, I would like to see Marty gone. Marty gotta go. He could go work somewhere else, some other bullshit ass job, because this is enough. This is enough for me to be like, nah, I'm not fucking with Bethesda. I mean, I don't really fuck with Bethesda that much to begin with, but I'll happily hate on them in public though now, for sure. What happened to our cool ass game companies? Greed, I know, exactly. Because game companies used to be made of creatives and they would just have to find a business person to help them run the shit. But now the game companies are made of business people and they're just fucking bringing in random creatives and then spitting them back out when they're done with them. And the whole market is flipped. The whole industry is flipped. Todd Howard would apologize by releasing Skyrim with a Mick Gordon soundtrack. Oh, fuck. Just work exclusively with indie devs. Yeah, for reals. They might do something behind the scenes, but the law, they don't say sorry publicly because then lawsuits. Yeah, so that's another thing too. If they were to come out and acknowledge that any amount of this is true, they open themselves to lawsuits from people who ordered that, not just from people who ordered the soundtrack, right, or ordered the collector's edition for the soundtrack, but also the Consumer Protection Act or whatever, I guess in some parts of Europe or whatever, where they sold it, and that's detailed here as well, where if they don't have a soundtrack or whatever, then they have to refund all of them. So that's probably a government that's going to have to come up with a case against this. So yeah, this is like fucking mental. I'd imagine what will probably happen is nothing. This will probably just blow over, and at least Mick is exonerated of this, of that entire fiasco, in my opinion. There's no way. Like the blame, whether or not he's obfuscating times when he's been maybe tough to work with or something. There's enough. There's enough receipts here to show that they probably deserved it. and really, Mick was nice and not unleashing on them more. The huge bombshell that Mick dropped actually can't be taken in light of that. I mean, like, it really depends on legally. I mean, how they want to approach this or whatever. Like, this I think is just Mick. He knows he's free and clear. He can say whatever he wants, right? Freedom of speech, whatever. And he's on a contract, NDA or whatever, so he could just kind of say whatever. He turned down all the bribes to get him to shut up about it, all the hush money. So yeah, he could say whatever he wants on it, and really Bethesda just has to fucking deal with it. Just has to fucking deal with it, because they have to. If they go to court, if they try to like take him to court over this, trying to say that it's like, you know, lies or whatever, they have to prove that it's not, and they have to basically refute all this evidence that he's providing here. Maybe we should put pressure on Phil to get Bethesda to treat him right. Yeah, well, I've elected to ignore it. Yeah, I don't know if Phil is gonna be asked anything like this. I mean, he does a lot of interviews and everything, and he's usually pretty receptive to questions like this. But I don't know if he's gonna get involved. He might just say, you know, something I probably shouldn't talk about that right now, because this is getting into legal territory. You know, like this bomb that Mick dropped is like full of legal shit. You know, like I don't know where Mick lives, but I mean, like there might be labor laws that could also come into play here. Like they basically asked him to work, and he did all this work out of contract or whatever. And then when he's presented with a contract, I guess they turned down the music or whatever. Like there's probably labor laws that are being violated here, depending on where he lives. Is the Microsoft deal actually finalized though? Are you thinking about the Activision Blizzard one? That one's still not. There's still some controversy in the EU, like regulations or something like that are going through it right now, and that's pretty much because of PlayStation. PlayStation's trying really, really hard to keep Activision from being acquired by Microsoft, saying that they're never gonna get an exclusive game anymore or whatever. But that's the one that's done though. Yeah, that one's done. Yeah. Wow. Did we cover everything? Did we cover everything in that? Shit. That was a big one, man. Fucking crazy. We're not done yet, though. Independent contractor. Okay, so basically rip. But, I mean, who knows? Who fucking knows? Who knows? I don't know what state he lives in. Is he in California? I have no idea. Did you see that the UK said no Xbox titles were on any other service, and Sony announced their PS1 catalog and Skyrim in it? No, I missed all that. Yeah, you could claim breach of contract. Yeah, I mean, oh man, I don't know if anything's gonna come of it. I don't know if they're gonna pay him for his 140 extra minutes or whatever, but still, it's on him that he worked without a contract. Yeah. Well, yeah. But whatever, the word's out, so now we know. Fuck you, Bethesda. Fuck you, id. Man, just terrible. Fucking terrible. Shitty. Super shitty. Moving on. He's an Aussie. Oh, he is? Up to him right now. If it wants to... Moving on. Oh God, what is this? Is this relevant to what we're talking about right now? Oh, okay. No, we're not gonna cover that. Sorry, but thank you though. Moving on. So, Twitter released Twitter Blue earlier this week, where you can pay $8 and you get a verification check. And the way that it was presented was on the page. This wasn't initially there, but it's kind of been like massaged in. But initially, it would show up as official underneath your name, if you were a previous verified account, right? So this is November 9th. This is a couple days ago. This is after they massaged this thing together for this. But initially, this really wasn't the case. The only way that you could tell is if you were to hover over the actual check mark. I'll show you here. If you hover over it, and then it'll tell you this account is verified because it's notable in government laws, and it would also tell you if a person paid for Twitter. So then we go over here to everybody picking up on this, and it says Twitter built a "this motherfucker paid for Twitter" meme right into its paid Twitter Blue subscription, and it shows here that you can see that somebody is verified because they subscribe to Twitter Blue. So somebody else is like, well, you know, there's code in there that we could potentially exploit if we really wanted to, that shows if somebody is verified or blue verified. And sure enough, extensions were made. The only extension I have an example of was this really cool diamond tester one that Kai was showing on his stream. He's got a diamond tester here. Listen. Oh, not a real diamond. Just testing people's verified pet. So there's more. I mean, there's tons out there that I've already seen replacing it with, like, you know, poop emoji, stuff like that. So yeah, the code is there. Someone's gonna parse it. Well, unfortunately, people also saw this as an opportunity to impersonate some of their favorite people. One of them being Mario and Nintendo of America. Verified account, Nintendo of America. Same logo, Nintendo of America. The @ Nintendoofus, okay. 2,354 retweets as of this screenshot. 6,000 hearts, likes. That's not my favorite pharmaceutical company. There was also, I guess Joe Biden also was a part of this fiasco here. He says, I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now. Elon is presented with these examples, as well as tons of others. There were so many examples of this. I had to pare it down. And then, yeah, here he goes. There's somebody, you know, Tom Warren says that Twitter verification system is going well, and he shows the examples of this. And then, you know, he says the beauty of this is each account that gets verified paid $8. Twitter keeps the money and suspends the account. It's genius, and I hope more folks do this. It's free money for Twitter. Fucking weird nerd. And then Elon responds, and he's like, oh, bullseye, cool guy, fucking glasses emoji, or fucking money bags. Yeah, boy, give them $8. That now I only owe 43,999,992. What is that? It's the Nintendo of us. I did say Doofus. It does say Nintendo of us. I'm already looking at every tag, every @ tag, and like looking for inconsistencies because of this. It's made me very paranoid to use Twitter. So I'm going to read too into all of these things. All right. Too deep. Oh my fucking God. Nintendo Doofus. Fuck. Perfect. That's perfect. He was asked again, very specifically, people pointed out, it says a verified Mario gave everyone the middle finger, and President Biden is talking about sucking his own penis, and he says, ha ha, with the I'm really kind of upset, but I'm laughing emoji. Now scale that up, could be worth hundreds of millions. I know. Wait till you see a stack of 100 million next to 44 billion. It's crazy. That's why the shirtless old man on Mastodon are a better place to be. Yeah. Someone managed to make a tweet saying the company was making insulin free. Yeah, so yeah, but we're getting there. But was it really him? I know, on every single account, you got to click on the actual thing and you got to go see if that's the real person. You don't know. You really don't know. So he's not taking it seriously. Until he finally was kind of like, okay, he's taking it seriously. He says, going forward, accounts engaged in parody must include parody in their name, not just in bio. Earlier in the week, he also came out and said that there were some policy changes that were going to be made based off of people making parodies, and then he stepped it up again, and he says now it's going to add it to the name, not just the bio. My $8 for a verified account. And he says we're adding a parody subscript to clarify. Can you? But there's no way. Like, this makes me think that he's just full of shit. This is new, by the way. I cannot imagine that a parody account is so critical to separate from the crowd, as we couldn't necessarily tell. I mean, before we could, because the check system worked. But now we can't. So now he's gonna put these poor engineers to making all these fucking extra tools to compensate for his dumb fucking idea. So he's taking it seriously, but somebody who's taking it really seriously is a big pharma company. Big Pharma's enter the chat. So this is a tweet that went out not by Eli Lilly and Company, who is a insulin provider amongst other pharmaceuticals. And it says, it's a verified account. It says, we are excited to announce that insulin is free now. And that tweet spread like wildfire. That tweet spread like fucking wildfire. They actually responded, which was probably equally as dumb. They probably should have just ignored it. So they responded and they said, we apologize to those who have been served a misleading message from a fake Lilly account. Our official account is LilyPad. But people are like, well, wait a minute, though. What about the free insulin? Like, why are you charging for insulin? Why are you charging so much for these things that we need? Right? So now all eyes are on LilyPad. They did nothing but you know, completely take advantage of our medical system, but they didn't do anything to instigate this particular attack. This was just a random person who was like, fuck it, I'll pay $8 to you know, spread a little misinformation. No problem. And now we're seeing the stocks for these companies, not just this company, but other companies, start to take a hit. Big hit. So this is probably going to turn into an even bigger thing, because this went completely unchecked for way too fucking long. For way too long. The LilyPad is sinking. Spending $8 to make a company lose billions. I mean, think of the possibilities, really. I mean, yeah, you could spend $8 and tank a company if you want. I mean, this is Rachel Toback. We talk about her a few times on here. She's great with security stuff, insights and everything. And she goes on to talk about the same thing. She's saying, you know, there are many ways that verified imposter checkmarks could still be used. They could be used to short stock, to nosedive their competitors' competition stock by impersonating them and tweeting about all the stuff their PR team can't stand. Insulin should be free, by the way. Kind of dope, not gonna lie. Verified prices of insulin. Shit posters ruining the company. Yeah. So this is starting to have like real world repercussions that we all definitely saw coming, except for the genius businessman in charge, Elon. There was a call earlier this week that I listened to. Not a call, but it was a Twitter space that happened earlier this week. A Twitter space is basically like imagine like a Discord, but only a couple people can talk, right? And it's right on Twitter in the Twitter app. So I was in this call listening, and it was fucking full of advertisers, like actual official accounts. Like, you know, the Jordan account was in there. I was like, is this the actual Michael Jordan's in here? You know, like there was so many advertisers that listened to this call, and it was Elon Musk, Yoel, and another executive that he had on the team, right? Yoel was the, I say was because you'll see. That space talk was embarrassing. So yeah, I was listening to it was a Q&A, and people were asking some pretty good questions of Elon. And my take from that whole thing is that Elon is just thinking that he can do what he wants with the product, and he's treating it like it's this small little company and not this massive company that when you try to pivot and add things and change things, other things are impacted by this. He's just like, you know, fuck it, do this, or, you know, you're fired or whatever. And so things are just being done. People are being let go, people or whatever. And it's like, so now things are starting to fall apart as this thing is starting to move. It's just a tech company, no problem. He still thinks it's a tech startup. He claims to have this vision for humanity that seems childish, like at best. It's like, I still believe that people are good natured and people are good and all this stuff. I still believe in the good of humanity. And it's like, yeah, dude, like, yeah, sure. Like, you know, people are in general good, but we're on the fucking internet, bro. Like, that's not how it works here. And like, I understand that he thinks that he could take Twitter and turn it into a public space with real people who treat others with respect and kindness and acceptance, but that just doesn't exist in the real fucking world. We're not ready for that. We're not ready for that. And his idea is just, no, it's not going to work, man. Not the way that he envisions it now. Things are changing rapidly, though. Very rapidly. Matter of fact, as of today, this morning, Twitter Blue no longer exists. They actually deactivated the service. So people who purchased the check mark as of a couple hours ago. I don't know if this is still true. People who purchased verified or purchased a Twitter Blue in order to get a verified check mark, those check marks are now gone. So whether they're back now or what, I don't think that's the case. But when has Elon treated anyone with respect? I think more people are realizing that now. So anyways, the feature seems to have been rolled back. We don't know what the real reason is. He said, I guess he said in a statement, or they said, or internally, here we go. They said internally that they changed it because to help address impersonation issues per internal note. So yeah, this is from their official Slack communications. Checkmarks aren't gone. You just can't actively surprise. No, the checkmarks are. I verified with an account that I followed that was actually talking about having a checkmark, and now she does not. I'll actually go pull it up right now. It's a porn site, so give me a second here. But yeah, this is what sometimes we gotta do. Let me see. I wonder if it's back though. I have a screenshot showing that it's gone. Hide the stuff. Oh, it's back for her. Okay. So it is back for this person. You guys can see this part. It is back for this person, but this check was not there when I checked it earlier. So there was a period there where those check marks were gone, and now it's back. I actually have a screenshot in Discord somewhere that shows it. That's how fast it changes. Yeah, so things are moving like fast, but you cannot sign up for Twitter Blue right now. They hid the entry point according to their Slack engineers. So, woo. So the blue check fiasco just came and went. It just came and went. There are other things related to this. I mean, like Yoel, who is the person on the call on the space, the Twitter space, who assured everybody. He was the former head of trust and safety at Twitter. He assured all the advertisers that things are going great. We're going to be fine. All this stuff. And then he and a bunch of other people left the next day. Yeah, some more people are leaving. Which one's this one? This one is according to messages, Twitter CISO, Chief Privacy Office, and Chief Compliance Officer all resigned last night. It says an employee says it'll be up to engineers to self-certify compliance with FTC requirements and other laws. I don't know about you, but I don't think engineers are supposed to be doing all the compliance stuff like that. That should be somebody else. Somebody who specializes in compliance, literal compliance. How about like a chief compliance officer? Maybe one of those will probably help. So this is, as he notes here, it's potential to open up Twitter to tons of compliance fines. So, that's just one. And then there's infrastructure too, I guess they're going after. She's going to have a field day. Yeah. So it says Mr. Musk is also trying to minimize Twitter's infrastructure costs in meetings with engineers. His advisors have proposed saving from $1 million to $3 million in infrastructure costs a day. Said three people familiar with the talks. Lieutenants are also looking to make deep cuts to Twitter's Redbird organization, which consists of platform and infrastructure teams. So if you start seeing ye old fail whale coming back, I don't know if you guys remember that. It used to be like a little fail whale being lifted up by a whole bunch of little Twitter birds. If you see that coming back, that means the engineers are gone. That means infrastructure is gone. Here's the fail whale. Yeah, you remember the fail whale? This is a good one here. It says Twitter sent an HR email. This is just this morning to every laid off employee acknowledging. First off, initially they were trying to get some of them to come back, right? But this one was to every laid off employee acknowledging it's late getting people their separation agreements and release of claims, but their company messed up the BCC and became a reply all catastrophe. 3,700 people. Reply all. You can't make the ship weigh less by punching holes in the hull. Damn, that's good. That's a good one. So, in his first all hands meeting, he says that bankruptcy isn't out of the question. And what I'm discovering, and what you guys probably have discovered as well, but more proof that Elon is just another one of those diarrhea of the mouth people. Where like he's gonna say a bunch of random shit, you cannot take it for face value. Like he doesn't he's just a guy spewing content things. Oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this and we're gonna offer that. Imagine this, imagine all this. And like the team who actually has to do the implementing of this stuff is like, we can't fucking do that. He's like a Sean Murray, but with like $44 billion to blow on Twitter. That's my biggest fear, sending emails to more than 3 people. Wait until he runs for president. Oh, fucking kill me now. Jesus Christ. So he did say that that bankruptcy is not out of the question, which I'm sure the people that helped him invest billions of dollars, like the Saudi royal family, would love to hear that investment's gone because he drove it into the ground. 2 weeks. It'll be great in 5 years. Thank you. He's playing 4D chess. He always intended Twitter to go bankrupt and shut it down to protect us all from it. Oh, fuck. Yeah, there's lots of conspiracy theories about that, too. And he says, yeah, they have a net negative cash flow of several $1 billion. It was like $4 million a day. And he said he had to recently sell a bunch of Tesla stock in order to save the company. That was also part of this call that he had. And we actually do have I have an older tweet here that I had saved because actually it popped up, and it said that he sold 19.5 million shares of Tesla, or $4 billion worth, just after the deal closed. And so speculation is growing that the acquisition may cost him a little bit more than he thought it would. So he's sinking Tesla to save Twitter. Tesla is also at a years long low. I don't know what it closed at. It was at what is it? It's Friday, so I don't know what it closed at now. Let me pop this open to see. But it was at 178, and it hadn't been 178 since like June of 2020 or something. So it's at 195 now. So 195. So it pulled up to, end of the year here, or sorry, the end of the week here. But I mean, if you take a look at the 5 year here, you could see that they lost a lot coming down. So I think when was the acquisition? Somewhere around here, September something, right? And then not looking good. So yeah, a lot of his wealth is tied up in Tesla stock. He's actually said so himself, that if Tesla were to go bankrupt, then he would go bankrupt as well. But listen, he's not going to go bankrupt. He's going to file for bankruptcy, right? Which basically just lets him go, well, that was, that's that with my debt, It allows him to basically wash his hands of a lot of debt. But it doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't have any money. He'll still be able to leverage other, he's a fucking billionaire, man. Like, billionaires don't go broke, It's just not, it's not on the docket for billionaires. They'll just pull money from something else, or they'll borrow money from somewhere or whatever. Yeah, bankruptcy is the rich man's parachute. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Him being bankrupt is like having still several billions of dollars probably in liquidity and cash or something, So, it's not going to happen. And Twitter going bankrupt is not probably, the only negative effects we'll probably see is just like shitty features, and poor performance. And if those things continue, then we'll just see an exit, a more rapid exodus of people moving on to other platforms. Has gone bankrupt multiple times. Yeah. Yeah, the previous guy. Jeez. Doesn't have to worry about credit score like we do. Yeah. We don't have to. He doesn't have to worry about credit score from these credit companies that just take our information and just let it get hacked by anybody who has fucking MS-DOS access. Today he also asked, I guess during another call or something. I just have a quote for this. It's just silly. Because again, we don't know what direction he's going, and this is again just further solidifies that he just has diarrhea of the mouth. He just says random shit. I'm gonna read this quote. It says, let's just get a bunch of content creators that we think are cool on YouTube and say, hey, would you consider putting your content on Twitter, and we'll pay you 10% more than YouTube, and see how it goes, Musk continued. Please do it. Let's take action. So if you could do it after this meeting, I would do it after this meeting. I don't know. He could reach out and say what? Like, we'll pay you 10% more to post over here and abandon YouTube? Come on, man. Yeah, 10%? No fucking way. He sounds like Trump. I mean, there is a type. There is definitely a type where, like, these people just have like nothing but yes men their whole lives. And so they feel like they could do nothing wrong. It's narcissistic types. Just pay them with what money? Elon said Twitter is losing money. Yeah. Well, that's why he sold that stock, so he could pay these Twitter people to pay YouTubers. The loud eccentric. Man, yeah, it's just he just got duped into buying this fucking thing, and now he's trying so hard to dig himself out of a hole, and he just can't. Maybe eventually Twitter becomes like Twitter feature wise becomes like the ideal place, the mecca of social media. But right now, this is like the worst growing pains I think any of us have ever seen, and I feel like this is probably just gonna get worse before it gets better. People kept thinking he's a genius. He's just he's just born rich. He's born rich. He's gonna sell it back to Jack. Nah, Jack's got his own shit. He's working on right now. He's got his own social media app. So I'm taking a wait and see. I don't know what is going to happen. We'll be interested to see. Yes, and he does claim that Twitter usage is up by a great deal. So he's I mean, we have to take it for face value because it's not a publicly owned company, so it's not information that we'd be able to get as a shareholder or anything. But he says that traffic is up, and we all know why. It's up because we're all watching this thing unfold. You know, who wants to look away from a car accident? Nobody. It's all those troll accounts. Yeah. So they're not the only tech company that's experiencing some woes. Although Twitter ones are definitely all self created, but they did lay off a bunch of people, right? 3,700 folks. Nothing compared to Meta. Meta. We knew that they had some layoffs that were coming, but not 11,000. 11,000 employees have been let go from Meta. I think that this tweet pretty much sums it up the absolute best. Is Facebook firing 11,000 people is so crazy because all they had to do was not invest $60 billion in that Wii Sports ass world he swore was the future. Self-inflicted as well. Yeah, this is more, I guess, growing pains. So many of these big ass tech companies like somehow manage to just not make money. Right. And we know how money works in some of these industries, right? It's like, well, we didn't make any money because we had to pay all of these ballooning salaries and bonuses and everything out. And so all of a sudden we don't have money because we budgeted it in a way where in the end we wouldn't have any money on paper. And that's, I mean, god damn, man, that's what it feels like. It's happening all over the place. Like, how is like Facebook like not profitable enough to be able to support all this stuff? I mean, come on. They didn't ride the dip and now they're broke. Great timing to do it. The Twitter distraction. Yeah, now's the time to do it. CEO costs company $7 billion a year and he's still there and 11,000 people aren't. Oh yeah, we don't make money. We just pass money back and forth between our companies till it fails. Yeah, pretty much, huh? Stadia. Yeah, great timing with the Twitter distraction, for sure. But you know, god damn, 11,000 people. I'll tell you though, I know a bunch of folks that work at Facebook because it's not far. It's just right down the street. I know some folks that work at Facebook here, and I'll tell you, like, they make stupid money. Like, they really do make stupid money. Like, we're talking like, you know, some of them are making, you know, like $250,000, $500,000 a year. Okay, like literally $500,000 a year. All right, so like 11,000 employees could be literal billions of dollars. See, can confirm. Yeah, Lack can confirm for sure. She works payroll. She could in the tech industry. Yeah, absolutely. So Meta let off a bunch of people. It's not looking good for tech companies in general. Last week I had a tweet that I shared that just showed that there is a trend. That there's lots and lots of tech companies that are scaling down. Big time scaling down. And you know, that could be as a result of competition. Like in Facebook's case, it's like, you know, they have Instagram and they have the metaverse. They're competing with themselves for money, of course, because of the way they're spending it internally. But they're also did I say Instagram? Sorry. They're also competing with TikTok, you know, coming up and getting all this popularity and stealing all these people from Instagram. If you go to Instagram right now and look at Reels, which is their, like, you know, TikTok service, so their short form vertical content service or feature, it's most of them are just repurposed TikToks. Like the TikTok logo is bouncing around all over the place, which was brilliant marketing for TikTok to do that, because now everywhere you go, you see that shit, right? All your vertical content, even on Twitter, everywhere, because that's where it lives. And Facebook cannot compete with that. And other companies are experiencing, you know, competition. And so they're in competition automation. And so they're basically scaling down. So lots and lots of tech jobs basically went out the window this past month. It's been brutal. It's been brutal. 11,000 employees at $500,000 a year is $5.5 billion. Yeah. This is cute. What a cute little picture, this one. I just found this on the art subreddit. Am I useless? Aw. Oh, it says $8. What a great picture. Or sorry, render. Still. That's great. Nice. Thank you for that. What is my purpose? Still playing tech job, just large bloated shit shows losing. Yeah, that's the whole point. It's like, you know, there's a lot of layoffs at some of these big companies. It doesn't necessarily mean that these guys can't find jobs, period. It just means that, I mean, granted, let's all talk about the hiring process to hire in tech, we had to go through like 40 different boss levels and shit. But also but because there's competition, so the competition is probably gonna be hiring, right? It was outside of it. Does not. What is my purpose? Making jokes. Yep. Woo! Moving on. So this one, Kite, you're furious, right? Fuck, I'm certain it is. I just want to like I don't want to miscredit this. So I was tagged in Discord, and I appreciate the hell out of this. This story. This is a weird one. This is an interesting one. This is coming out of South Korea. So I'm furious. Yeah, you're furious. So this is a Korean Twitch blog post that's been translated to English. But what this does is it goes over the change that they're making in South Korea, where they're not going to be allowing hosting of VODs, clips, highlights, all that stuff. So basically a lot of what we really know Twitch for, besides streaming, is going to be gone, right? In terms of like media consumption. And so that's a huge change that's coming out. And so I'm digging into this, and in this it says so discontinuation of VOD content in Korea is not related to increased network fees and costs in the market, which was the initial thing that people were curious about. It was because of transfer costs and all that stuff. I don't understand. Kite, you're furious. No, Kite is a name. That's a username. Sorry, Kite is a username. Kite's the person that brought this to me. Y'all got weird names. Blame yourselves. So he says, we've previously emphasized the importance of complying with Korean laws, and today we are announcing the cessation of VOD content for Korean viewers in an effort to implement best practices to meet evolving regulatory standards. So they're saying that they're doing this because they need to meet with the local government's policies on on content delivery. Gantz. Oh my God. Thank you, Gantz. I'm trying to remember connecting the names between here and over there. So thank you, Gantz. So I was like, maybe there's more to this because this is attached to something else. And so I started digging a little bit more. And I found this, a new law says a new law could shut down YouTube, Netflix, and other content platforms in South Korea. Here's why you should be worried. And this goes on. It says the South Korean government is trying to pass a bill that will change how content is consumed within the country forever. The bill aims to make internet service providers legally bound to charge a delivery fee every time their consumers access any kind of content. So what this means is, in the case of like Netflix or YouTube or any other platform that delivers content to South Korea, the host platform would have to pay the local ISP in South Korea to cover the fees associated with transferring that data from wherever it lives to a Korean ISP and then delivered to the end user. So this is like a huge net neutrality thing now that we're talking about here. Yeah, exactly. This is a big thing. So this is why they're pulling out. They didn't say this, but you start digging, you find this is why they're pulling out. This basically, it seems like they're going through a little bit of like a censorship, like regime change or something. Like in the past several years, South Korea has been kind of like tightening things up and changing games, like revisiting and changing games age levels, like minimum age levels, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. Now trying to I guess make it so that companies outside of South Korea are not the ones benefiting, according to them, benefiting from the South Koreans interests. So like if a person in South Korea is accessing content, it shouldn't cost a South Korean company money in order to deliver that content, whereas they don't make any extra money off of it, even though it's an ISP that should be paying or should be charging X amount. But they want to change the way that's done. Just to be clear, I was surprised about the Korean stuff. I was pissed about PSO2 getting kneecapped by Sonic Frontiers team. Oh, Well, I don't know. I don't know how those things correlate, but how to burn out a country 80%. Doesn't South Korea already have personal ID for the internet? I'm not sure exactly how they handle that, but that could be the case. So further on this is them. This is the what is it called? GRAC, which is GRAC is basically the ESRB for or PEGI for South Korea, except the difference is with GRAC, unlike the ESRB, you have to have an age, an age rating for your games, right? You have to, like, the government mandated. It's not like here we can have games that just kind of exist on the internet. You can go and download them, right? They have to actually have them done. So have them rated. So some games were actually being revisited as a game from 2017 called Blue Archive. Was being revisited, and Fate Grand Order. So these are 2017 and 2021. Those games are being revisited and being reclassified as being basically adults only, or no youth is what they call it. So youth not allowed is essentially what their highest rating is. Now that's a big deal because when you rate a game above a certain threshold, you suddenly cannot advertise it anywhere. And I've seen pictures of I don't have it on the link here, but I've seen pictures around South Korea of game advertisements fucking everywhere. Like everything was like a lit sign. It looked like fucking cyberpunk. Those were taking players away from SC, and they can't have that. So I looked at Blue Archive to see like what kind of game is this that it is requiring an adult only tag, and it's like, oh, it's just a bunch of fucking anime waifus. Like, and and I clicked on all these looking for some titty. I was clicking on some random one. Let me see something with like you can see cleavage at least, and there's like none. It's just they just have big boobs. Like I wouldn't necessarily say this is like adult only, right? But remember, it's not the fact that it's a gambling game, because they've already said that gacha games aren't gambling. They're okay with that, right? They're looking at this and they're saying it's the content that they don't appreciate for the younger viewers, right? And so they're revisiting and they're saying, well, we're going to make this so they're going to make this so it's youth only. Oh, sorry, so it's youth not allowed. So Nexon ends up making they put out a letter and they discussed this, and in this letter they said that, hey, we're gonna make two versions of the game because we don't want to hamper one just to placate another. So we'll just have like a kid friendly version of the game and then the adult only version of the game. And the adult only version basically completely unchanged, right? But some have ankles showing, it's corrupting the youth. I've read that there's a maybe it's in one of these things here, but I did read that there's population decline worries, and there's a conservative religious group that's pushing some of these things to happen. Another thing that I saw was there's this rumor that it sounds a whole lot like what we've seen here in Western culture or whatever, Western gaming industry culture, just like in the US. This post here, a throwaway post, actually goes into detail about a place called Haigal. And Haigal is basically like a forums, right? Like I went there and took a look at it, and it's just like a forums. Almost like you would say, like maybe it's a, I don't know what to compare it to on the English side, honestly, but it was just like a forums where people just posted random shit. It was like wholesome stuff or whatever. So apparently it's like they banded together and they brigaded these games because they chose a handful of games. Blue Archive, Archive Lives, a couple other games, and they brigaded them by sending claims that they were inappropriate for their age level, their designated age level, and they were the ones that got GRAC to react and then review and then thus change the rating for this. And so they're saying that it was a targeted thing from groups. I read other things saying that it's just like a conservative, a group within, like a religious conservative group within government who's trying to push for change and to basically hide the waifus from the young kids, so the young kids aren't to the waifus, and instead to like make babies. That's basically what this boils down to. Sounds like the satanic panic. It really fucking does. So let's see, what is this? So this was a rumor that popped up. This is now gone. Okay, so this is deleted. Allegedly there was a hearing that happened, and the GRAC gets up and they discuss their game rating systems and all this stuff, and they made some comments about this. Is a few hours ago, GRAC held a press conference which was bombarded with very shocking remarks. They said that gamers are not members of society. They even called Steam a porn site, and they said that many of the recent released games were disgusting. And then in addition, they argue that slot machine games, aka real games, are being serviced with age ratings for all users recently, and that these are skill-based games and not gambling. Gotcha games. Yeah, so now I will say this post is deleted, and this is this is all just one person, the only person that I could find that has a translation of this. I did find somebody who said that they're a local, and they basically said the hearing held by GRAC was never officially aired. A lot of these are secondhand reporting from presses, some less reliable than others, trying to garner more clicks because this issue has been a hot potato thing for a while. For the reasons that we discussed, some of those things that we talked about with them changing the scores and all that, that was earlier this year, upwards of recently, just like a month ago. So yeah, this is a very hot button topic right now. It says the pornography part, from what I've read, could be in line with the discussions on Steam's curation that does not filter not safe for work or R-rated contents in comparison to App Store and all these other app stores. At its worst, it was about too many not safe for work contents on Steam, not that Steam equals pornography. So yeah, it seems like there's definitely like a clamping down, a lot of censorship that's popping up all over the place in South Korea. And this could have a negative effect on us too, because sometimes companies don't want to build features out, and we've seen this happen. They don't want to build features out that are only going to work for everyone and not like one specific group. They're going to want to make one product that works for everyone. All right. The same way we've seen changes made to games locally here in the States or Western Hemisphere because they needed to abide by some policy in some other country or whatever, whether it's Germany or whether it's China or now South Korea. And so these things have a negative impact on all of us. The net neutrality thing, also huge deal, because that changes the structure of how internet works within South Korea, essentially maybe even like siloing them off and creating like a little island of internet for them, where like Afrika TV would end up being like the Twitch of South Korea because of all the changes that are happening to Twitch. I mean, we just reported last week on Twitch. Didn't they limit their bandwidth streaming to 720p or something because they were changing to like peer-to-peer or something? Oh, that was weeks ago actually. They did this. So yeah, there's tons of changes happening to Twitch to the point where I feel like it's not going to be a thing in South Korea anymore. Like it's just, there's too many other competitors that are going to pop up. And that was the point. I think, is to not allow these American-based companies to profit, again, off of the local populace in South Korea. They're trying to bring that money. It's a bit of like a nationalism spin on that, right? We want to bring that money home. Not just games, movies as well. Oh yeah. For the movies, do they do movies? I'm not sure if they do movies, but still, Steam absolutely filters adult content. Again, this is on the parents not being responsible for their kids. Yeah, Twitch isn't even that big in Korea. Yeah. So others on the Discord mentioned it reminds them of the Australian ratings board issues that have largely disappeared since the governing party's change. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, these things could have a ripple effect on all of us, basically. But on that note, speaking about this is just a quick hit here. Speaking about things that are popular in South Korea, Starcraft came up recently. There was an interview with Phil Spencer, and they're talking about the acquisition of Activision and what they plan on doing with other properties. And he did say that he's like genuinely interested and likes to see what they could do with properties that maybe are backlogged, or they have a backlog of like IPs, like StarCraft specifically was mentioned. Microsoft is the only company that still makes RTS games. Yeah, so they could potentially, or they could not do another RTS, and instead, I mean, like Xerxes says, Ghost. I mean, Ghost would be right up their alley. They could take that IP and give it to somebody, make a first-person shooter or something out of it. Not a shooter, but like a stealth something, or third person or whatever, right? Like there's a lot of lore there that's not explored yet in the StarCraft universe. And nothing's going to happen during this transition. We're not going to get like a StarCraft announcement or something like that. So, if anything, this just like kind of like solidifies for us that we're not going to get a StarCraft announcement anytime soon. stuff. He's like, yeah, you know, I found these IPs in this clearance bin over here when I was checking out the place. And hey, can we do something with this? Hey, Starcraft thing? You guys remember this? Oh, shit. Like Alien Isolation? Yeah. Speaking of Alien Isolation and virtual reality and being terrified of it, Palmer Luckey has developed or is developing a headset that will literally kill you when you die in a game. But he said there's a few bugs that still need to be worked out. So this was inspired by a game, or not necessarily a game, I'm sorry, but a franchise, Sword Art Online. Yeah, already Sword Art Online. I like finding someone to test it. No, he's dead serious. He's dead serious. He goes on. He talks about. I mean, he's the way he's talking about it. He clearly adores this canon. Time to play Dark Souls. Yeah. And he says this isn't a perfect system, of course, and I have plans for anti-tamper mechanism that, like the nerve gear, will make it impossible to remove or destroy the headset. Even so, there are a huge variety of failures that could occur and kill the user at the wrong time. This is why I have not worked out the balls to actually use it myself, and also why I'm convinced that, like an SAO, the final triggering should really be tied to a high intelligence agent that can readily determine if conditions for termination are actually correct. The way that it kills you is not the same as it does in Sword Art Online. Sword Art Online, they use like radioactive focused beams or something. In this case, it's a little less subtle. They use explosives. Anyways, this fucking thing. Oh man. Shotgun to the face, yeah. Suicide hat. Oh jeez. So he wants everyone to get some lolly girl adopt as a daughter. Why would you want to kill us? His helmet is super similar to Rick and Morty's shotgun helmet. Oh, let me see this. Oh, yeah. So I'll give you mass amounts of money to these stupid people. He's just bored. Just strap a grenade to your head while you play. Yeah. Be a man. Pull the pin. Did you die? Pull the pin. The way that he describes in the post how it can tell if you died was it had basically like a photo sensor that was looking for a certain pattern. So the pattern that he was testing was like a red screen flashing in a certain frequency or whatever. And it's like, cool. But what if it fires on accident? He even says, I mean, he's very candid about this stuff. He's like, yeah, you know, it doesn't really work, and I don't really have the balls to test it myself. And yeah, there's some flaws, but maybe he's hoping that Zuck acquires this too. Oh man, he has to show that it works. So. We're not going to end with like blowing your face off with VR. I have some cute stuff here that came up. You guys know that there was Among Us VR has been, it's like, I guess it's like out for testing or something. And, a couple of known streamers got in and they were testing it. And apparently it was like all kids. It was like all kids. And it's the most fucking adorable thing you've ever seen. Was in the play test. Yeah, I didn't see the whole thing, but some of these. So this is Disguised Toast talking and playing. Okay, his perspective here.
Yay. Orange was the one to kill green, so then I report. Fix sabotage.
Guys, we gotta fix the sabotage. I don't want to lose again.
What is the code? That.
Great, you got it. Nice work.
Who did sabotage? I was gonna get it.
Guess. I fucking love it, man. It's so good. Wait, what's this one?
May have could have done it when he
Hey, Red.
Wait, before he walked in.
with the voice changer,
Yeah.
trying to explain what he saw at the meeting.
Orange. You.
I was in the security cameras looking at the computer, and then Cyan comes in out of nowhere and says, except for the security.
I can't, man. I can't. This was a great video showing the. Well, I'll just show you actually.
Dude, you come here often?
This is Valkyrie. You see her.
This looks sick. What do you think about it so far? Wait, why you look?
Just let it happen, Ray. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. Ray, just let it happen. Just let it happen, Ray.
What do you mean? Okay, you know what? Okay.
Not gonna lie, this looks rad as fuck. It's just like when we were sleeped out. What's the clip? Oh yeah. Let me see if I can permit you real quick. Oh gosh. I gotta permit. There you go. Yeah, give me. So when are you gonna? Well, hold on. Let me watch this clip that Harmer gave us here. Let me see.
Okay, nobody's in here.
Oh yeah, great with the view, the headset view.
Hey, Marty. Yeah, that's a killer behind you. That's a killer. Run, Vladdy, run. Run, hit that button. Hit that button.
Don't hit that button. You fuckers are grouping up. Nobody can kill anybody because you guys are fucking holding each other's balls.
Welcome to Vanilla Amogus, Junk.
Oh my.
Okay, nobody's in here.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks rad. I mean, I don't think anyone was saying that Among Us VR wouldn't work. Of course it would. Thank you for sharing that. And that's it. That's it for the news. Thank you guys for hanging out. Today was a good one. This was a good one. You got one showing the young. We'll watch some more afterwards. But God, yeah, it's fucking hilarious, man. I don't know, it's just fucking the little kid too. He's all like, let's see on this one and this one. And Toast's responses, like the way he was responding to the kid, would sounded to be like somebody who was like a big brother, like I don't know if he has like siblings or whatever, but it was such a big brother thing, just a do. There you go, kid, good job. And then he just walks away, not trying to look for credit or anything. I was dying the whole night, just everyone complained about the same issue, headaches. Yes. So that's something that will probably, I mean, just judging by the footage of the way it moves and everything, it's like that part is on us, right? Watching it is difficult because they don't smooth out the capture feed. But the in-game performance has to be like stellar, right? If this game is not optimized, then that's going to give you motion sickness. But he channeled kindergarten grown-up energy. Yeah, that's funny shit. So that's it for the news. Thank you so much for watching, chat. Thank you again for being my lovely co-hosts. Thank you. Thank you. Boop, boop, all the way down. You guys are the best. Hang out for a little bit. We got some time. Kill. All right. No, thank you. Fine. Fuck. No, thank you. Oops.